come on, quick, look at the lights!
Merry Christmas from the Dice Odyssey. Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. I'm Santa Claus. Ding! And it may not be that time of year for you when you watch this video, but I'm going to tell you something. From November 1st on to Christmas, it's time to put the tree up, okay? We got to have fun. I love Christmas lights. Love Christmas lights. Even if you're not in the Christmas spirit right now, this game wants to put you there, and it's called Christmas Lights. This game's by 25th Century Games. It's for ages 6 and up, so yeah, kids can play this. It's got it's for 2 to 6 players, and it goes for about 10 to 30 minutes. Just depends on how quickly the game goes. And it's basically a set collection style of game, but it's more kind of a Hanabi-ish flavor to it without being exactly like Hanabi. Did this game win me over? Let's get it over the table. I'll show you a little bit of how it plays, and we'll give you my final thoughts. In Christmas Lights, your main goal is to complete 2 String of Lights pattern cards before everyone else at the table. Whoever does that first is the winner. And also, there will be a tiebreaker in there for whoever uses the least amount of broken bulbs. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to gain 2 pattern light cards, okay? And you're going to choose which direction on each one that you're going to start with first, because you have to complete them in a specific sequence. So if you want to go from left to right, that's fine. But once you're locked in, you must complete it in that sequence. And you have to complete 1 card at a time. Now, to actually go to the second card, you'd have to get a plug card to go between the 2 to be able to actually start completing the second card. Now, everybody's going to also be dealt out character cards at the very beginning of the game just to determine who's actually going to go first. Whoever ends up with Santa is the first player. Players are also going to be dealt out 5 different bulb cards in the deck, and that can range from different kinds of colors like purple, pink, blue, yellow, green, red, you know, so on and so forth. So when you get your 5 cards, you're going to be not looking at them, you're going to be holding them facing away from you. So you don't know what you've got in your hand. It's a complete mystery to you towards everyone else, okay? So you get to see everybody else's hand but yours. You're also going to have a draw deck in the middle of the table. You're going to also have an event card deck that you can draw from, which gets activated by the draw 1 event card that comes out. There's like 3 of them in the deck, basically. You're going to see those from time to time. And once those are played, somebody draws from the event deck, and you might get things like Christmas Eve. All players can look at 1 card in their hand. Power Surge, active player ends their turn immediately. You've got all sorts of different kinds of wild cards, which are these multicolored bulb cards, okay, that can be used in place of any color that you need for your strand on your pattern card. So there's several different ones. The lump of coal is also pretty evil. So anyway, so that would be the event card deck in general. The broken bulb card is used in place of another card that you might need to put. So for example, if you couldn't get a purple and you needed a purple next, but you had a broken bulb card, well, you go ahead and place that down, and then you can continue completing your pattern past that card. But before you can go on to the next one, the next pattern card, you have to be able to find that color and put it into where the broken bulb card is. Just lay it on top of it. There's several actions you may do on your turn, but you have to do them in a specific order. The first one is going to be swapping 1 card with any card in an opponent's hand. So if you see something you like in another person's hand, you can go ahead and take it from them, and then you have to take a card out of your hand. Again, you don't know what you're giving them, and pass it over to them to add to their hand. The next thing you can do is play a card from your hand into your set. You can also do something called a sale. That means you take 1 card from your hand and place it down in the middle of the table. You also take 1 card from the draw deck, place it next to it. If any one of those work for the next card in your pattern sequence, you can take one and put it there. But also you can use it to sell for information to other players. So for example, you might say something like, hey, what's this card color in my hand? Is this a yellow? Is this a pink? And other people who may need the cards that are out there in the middle of the table that you're selling, if they decide they want to get one of those, then they can go ahead and give you that information, and you give them the card as payment. At the end of your turn, you're going to refill your hand up to 5 cards. And then play just continues going around and around and around until somebody has completed 2 pattern cards completely, and then everybody else is going to go ahead and take 1 more turn to end the game. Whoever has completed it first wins the game. And there you have it. It's It's a very simple game to get into. Almost anybody, almost any age range can get into this game if they can just understand just different things about the cards and collecting sets and things like that. It's so simple, so easy. You'll have it within the first couple of minutes, you know what I mean? It's so simple to play. My wife was really excited to get into this game, and she is not somebody you would call a normal gamer, right? She likes games like Splendor and things like that, but she doesn't play a lot of these heavier games with me, and this game really surprised me. The very first time I played it, I fell in love with it. And I guess it's because I play so many heavy games, and medium to heavy, you know, that I sometimes forget how good the smaller, simpler card games are. And I just love the Christmas theme, okay? I'm sorry, you see this right here? I love the Christmas theme. I can't help it. When Christmas comes around, I love lights. I mean, I've already got my darn tree up, and it's like November. It's early November, okay? So the fact is that this theme already was calling out to me. I was just hoping it was going to be fun, and the fun factor was off the charts for me. And I think because it was so simple, we were laughing at the table, trying to mess each other over in different ways, you know. And there are ways that you can do that, but it's almost like you don't have a choice of what people take out of your hand, right? But at the same time, you have to try to almost bluff. Like, okay, you get information about a card during the sale. You're like, okay, I wonder if I should turn that card, because you can mark your cards by turning them in your hand if you know what they are, or you think you know what they are. And you have to be careful, because other people at the table might try to take that card from you. You know, especially if they need it, right? They might try to take that card from you, knowing you might want to try to put that card down. And so there's a lot of cool little fun nuances in the game. The more that you play, the more interesting it gets. And that's, I just had so much fun with this. I just really had a whole lot of fun with it. Now, the one minor quibble that you might find in this is, and this may never happen, but I mean, again, the entire time you're holding cards up like this so everybody else can see. So there's a possibility, if you have some very bright light in the room, that you might be able to see through the card. You might be able to ascertain what that is. But again, at that point, you're cheating. So if you see somebody do that, just, you know, call them out and say, hey, don't do that. It's simple as that. Or smack them. Don't do that. I'm just kidding. I'm not advocating violence. But it's fun, right? So yeah, this game is fun. I was not a fan of Hanabi. I actually gave my copy away to a friend of mine who actually liked the game. And this game I thought was kind of going to go down that same route. I was kind of concerned about it. But the mechanics aren't completely exactly alike, and I like that. And I think the theme called out to me more than just fireworks, right? Now, when it comes to the player count, I played it at 2, 3, and 4. I really enjoyed it at every player count. I actually even enjoyed it at 2, funny enough. It's actually a decent 2-player game. And also, the game is very snappy. It's very quick. It's definitely filler territory. I also love the fact, here's another thing. I also love the fact that they kept the event cards at about, I think there's 3 in the entire deck, and there's quite a big stack, well, not that big, but a decent stack of cards, because some of the event cards could hurt you. A lot of them helped you. But if, you know, once in a while, though, if I think if you swing the game a little, that's okay. But if we had like 5, 6, 7, 8 event cards, I think that would have swung the game too often, and I really like the balance there. So now there are 11 bonus games, variants that come in the game as well. They even have this little booklet here. We played a few of them to see how we like it. I'm probably going to play more of these just because I really enjoy the deck here. It's very simple. I love the artwork and everything else, so playing with these cards is fun. But the bonus game that I really found very fascinating and intriguing was Lights On. It's adapted from the old game Kemps, okay? There's so many different ways to play with this deck of cards that I think you're going to really find some value in this game. Right now, if I was going to go 1 out of 10, I'd put this at least at a 7.5 out of 10. So go out and check it out. Like I said, it's Christmas lights just in time for the Christmas season. And it's a joyful game. It's a joyful time. I think you might like it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the Dice Odyssey. If you like the review, please like and subscribe. And also, what are your favorite types of card games? Did you like Hanabi? Have you played Christmas Lights yet? It's one of the best times I've had with a game this year, and it truly surprised me with how much fun I had with it. Thank you so much. You have a blessed day, and Merry Christmas, and Game Away. This video is brought to you by Fallen Dominion Studios. Check out their website at fallendominionstudios.com.